Steve's gonna start
Oh
now.
yeah, you look at me, forget about the camera. I mean,
Cool.
sorry about that.
It's all right. It's probably easier to relate to that than this.
John, tell us what was the first professional recording that you were involved with that was commercially released?
Was my record on CBS Records. Oh, no, actually it wasn't. You're right. The first thing I was ever on was, I was on Bryan Adams' record, I Need Somebody. I sang background vocals.
How'd that happen?
A mutual friend of ours took him to see us play in Philadelphia, and he came up on stage and we did a couple songs together. Then like a year later, I mean, I hadn't heard from her, like it was just like a meeting, and you know, I was playing a club and I got a call and they said, you know, come up to New York and sing. So I did. How's that sound?
It's the truth. People have those, or fans of yours have a perception, a preconceived concept of a John Eddie stage show that was lots of energy and a lot of sweat and you really move around. How do you feel the record reflects that?
Well, I was trying to get that in there, but at the same time, I wanted to make a record that didn't need all that. When you're playing live, you can act crazy and you can shake your butt, and it's going to get across something that might not necessarily get across on record. So when I was making the record, I was more conscious of trying to make something that would sound good on the radio, but at the same time, I wanted people to imagine, like, man, if I saw it live, I bet that's exciting. You know, and that's what I was trying for anyway. So hope I succeeded.
Who's the Jungle Boy?
That's what I probably would have liked to have been when I was growing up, but more than likely wasn't. It was like you know, it's kind of like a Dion type of, like in that song The Wanderer, real like full of himself and confident, and I probably have that side of me, but it probably only comes out when I'm on stage. You know, it's like it's, you know, just like put in your face type of song and a put in your face type of person, and I'm not exactly that way in real life. So it's like just more like an attitude, you know, that I think people should have sometimes.
What about the process of making a video?
Okay, sure.
All right, we're on.
Okay. The process of making a video, how involved do you get, and do you like it?
Well, making a video, seeing as how so far I've only made one, I'm about to make another one. I like and it's exciting on one level. At the same time, it's a lot of technical stuff that I personally don't want to get involved in. You know, it's like I'm more like, you know, show me where to stand and show me, you know, show me. I don't want to do this one again, can I?
Go ahead, start again.
All right.
Talk about the video.
Anyway, yeah, like I said, making a video, it's fun and it's exciting, but at the same time, it's a real technical and it can be long and tedious. So I get involved in it on the level of the idea, but after that, you know, I pretty much put in the hands of people that I believe know what they're doing. You know, like I know what I do when I'm on stage, when I'm writing a song, so I more or less put in the hands of people that I think know what they're doing.
About this particular video, some people see an Elvis Presley influence in there. Has he had an effect on you?
Yeah, I love Elvis Presley. You know, Elvis Presley has had an effect on everything I do, and it definitely, you know, I try to dance like him, you know, successfully or not. I try to dance like him because I want to, you know, you want to be the best there is, and he was the best.
Another influence that people cite, with particularly Jungle Boy, is Gary Glitter.
Yeah, that's about as far as that influence goes, is on that song. It's Gary Glitter was an influence on Jungle Boy, and I remember that song from when I was in 8th grade, and it was just, I just always remembered it, and I always said I wanted to write a song with that beat, but with words, you know, and that was like, again, that was like that same kind of, you know, I wanted it to be real, you know, bragging type of song, because that beat had that to me, like real, like, you know, confident type of song. You know, it was like real loud.
On this, your debut album, you had some pretty impressive names associated helping out. Max, Nils, and McLaughlin. How did all these players come I mean, did Bill Drescher put something together, or did you reach out?
Well, putting the players together for the record, I was real lucky, and a lot of them, like I said, like with Max and stuff, it was just, he was from around the same area, and he introduced me to Nils at the end of the Born USA tour, and it just so happened I was finishing the record then, and we needed guitar solos. People like Ian McLagan and Phil Chen, who used to play with Rod Stewart, I met while I was out in California, and it's like it was more like I was wondering if they could do the record and really thinking that they probably couldn't. It just turned out that they were willing and able to do it, you know, at the time. So, and people like David Lindley, again, it was just like I wanted a violin on Buster, and David Lindley, who plays with Jackson Brown, you know, we called him up, and he heard the song and said, sure, I'll do it. So I was like, you know, I was very lucky, but it was a cool thing. Yeah.
What about when you go out on the road? Who do you think you'll put in the band?
Who do I think I'll put in the band?
Yeah, who's going to be your band this time?
Well, right now, I'm in the process of putting my band back together, so I don't know who's in it yet. Like, I'll know after tomorrow night if you want me to come back.
Okay. All right. You had the distinct, privileged honor being the act to kick off the final concert of Amnesty.
Right.
What did that feel like?
It was a combination of being scared to death and saying, you know, you'd be stupid not to do it. So it was like, I was happy to do it, but naturally, I mean, the most I ever played in front of was like, you know, people at the Pony, you know. It's like, you know, it's a nice sized crowd, but they're a lot, you know, they're going to be friendly, you know. And I was real happy to do it, and when we went out on stage, we got a really nice response, and people treated us real nice, so right then I felt like it was a big stone pony.
All right. About the Stone Pony. Sometimes, on a couple of occasions, you were playing and a guy jumped on stage, joined you, Bruce Springsteen. What did that feel like? How did that come about? I mean, he just popped in, or I mean, what's the story of that?
Bruce just is like everybody else. He likes to go out and have fun, and you know, there's not always a lot to do, and sometimes we were what was to do, and he would come out, and I think he liked the band, and whenever he got up and played with us, it was, you know, you can't put in words, because when I was, you know, I used to watch him a lot when I was growing up, you know, and I was like 15, 16, and I loved his music, so to have someone like him, you know, even want to, you know, come and listen to you, much less get up on stage and play with you, it's a big deal, and he's been a big part of my life, and it's cool to have him around this part of town.
In your concerts, your sets are usually peppered with some classic oldies, Chuck Berry, Jackie Wilson type stuff. How did you get exposed to that type of music?
The way I know oldies, basically, before I decided I want to learn about rock and roll, was I had 3 older sisters, and you know, they were older than me. I don't want to say a lot older, they'll hate my guts, but they're older than me. And I would listen to their records because my mom wouldn't let me have any on my own until I was older, you know. So I would listen to Temptations, you know, the Beatles, and it was like, you know, so I had that, you know, kind of education. And then you find out, like, you know, if people, when you're first starting out playing clubs and you're playing original music, you want it to be, you want people to like you, and you want people to dance. And sometimes they might not dance to a song that you wrote because they don't know it. So every now and then you throw in a song that goes, oh yeah, well that's kind of like his song that he just played, but I know this one, I'll dance to it, you know. And then they start liking your stuff better. It's a way, it's a trick. We're just tricking y'all.
When you used to go to a John Eddie concert, a lot of songs.
Yeah.
I mean, you seem to have an enormous output of original tunes. Songwriting something that's easy for you, a labor of love, something that really, I mean, you sweat blood for? Or?
I write songs. I know I write songs because I just happen to have a lot of free time on my hands because I never work. You know, you do something, you have to do something. So writing songs is what I do. I stay up all night and do it. You know, it's like it kind of feels lonely sometimes, but it's a way to make it seem right at the end of the night if you've written something. You know, if you're by yourself and you just wake up and you haven't done nothing all night, if you wrote a song, you know, you feel better about it.
So how did you choose the songs that you put on the album as opposed to those you said you'll have to wait?
Well, it was a combination of songs I liked and wanted and definitely wanted on the record. It was a combination of songs we hoped would get played on the radio so people would buy the record, because it's stupid to make a record and not want no one to buy it. And it was a combination of songs that fans liked from shows, you know, like songs that got good reaction, and people would tell me, you have to put that song on the record. So it was a combination of all them things.
How do you find the New Jersey Shore connection for yourself? I mean, inevitably, associations and comparisons are made with other artists in the area. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't mind, because it's like it's a good place to grow up, and it's a good place to. I don't want to sound like a public service announcement, but it's like, you know, I don't mind it, and I think the music that has come out of state, you know, I mean, hey, even people like I get compared to Whitney Houston all the time. She's from New Jersey, so I don't care.
Is there a specific time in your life when you decided you want to be a rock and roller?
Yeah, when I was real young. After we used to go to church, and I always used to see the priest. And that was like my first, I just wanted to be a center of attention, and he was. So first I wanted to be a priest, but then I noticed my sisters didn't have pictures of priests hanging on their wall. They had pictures of rock stars hanging on their wall. So I decided I wanted to be a rock and roll star. So first, before you become a star, you have to learn how to become a rock and roller, and that's what I'm in the process of learning how to do, becoming a rock and roller. Hopefully someday I'll have the other things that make you a star.
What was the worst advice your parents ever gave you?
The worst advice? Don't look in Playboy magazine. I don't know. I can't. They never gave me much advice. I left before they decided to try. You know, they didn't give me much advice, really. I mean, they taught me early on, but then I can't think. That's a weird question. Don't put that on there.
Okay. What information would you impart on somebody who wants to become a rock and roll star?
Like I said, just first learn the basics of it. You know, it's a job, and it's like what I decided to do for a job and for a living, and it's the best job you could have. But you got to realize you have to take care of business. You know, you have to take care of that end of it. You have to, you know, learn the 3 chords it takes, and then you have to learn how to try to get people to dance. So, but that, and like, write songs, original songs is what the people want at the record companies anyway, you know, but you can make a living just singing other people's songs too.